What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys a wish list of DLC characters for 2xKO. As you guys know, I've gotten pretty into the game since the release of Akali, and I mentioned in some of the recent videos talking about Senna and Thresh, who both look really sick and really incredible, that I was mulling around the idea of potentially doing a wish list for this game. The only thing about that is while the roster is filling out pretty nicely, and I think it's got a good mix of characters, it's finally starting to look like a real fighting game roster. I don't really know that much about League of Legends, so I figured I should reach out to somebody to collaborate with for this video, and I couldn't think of anybody better than my dog K7. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what's good, fellas? How we feeling? Happy to be here.
How you doing, man?
I'm excited. I'm ready to talk about some League of Legends characters, bro.
For sure. So if you're not familiar with K7, you should be. But if you're not, not only is he a world-class fighting game player with really nice placements in an array of fighting games such as 2xKO, Guilty Gear, Mortal Kombat, the list goes on, you know what I'm saying? He a lot nicer at these games than me, but he's also an avid League of Legends player. So I figured having him here would be really nice because not only can we talk about the characters and how they work in League of Legends, but he can also translate them to a fighting game kind of universe as well, because he's a decently skilled player in both realms, something that I can't really say. You know what I'm saying? So, right? You know, word to head of Montana, you look, he get the best of both worlds type, you feel me? So, yeah. Initially I thought about just doing like my own wishes, but I figured to make it more fun and more interesting, especially with having a guest on the channel, that he could bring some characters to the table as well. So we each got 5 characters that we're bringing today, and I'm gonna go ahead and let him kick things off with the first character. Let's go ahead and just jump into it.
Yes, we're starting it off with, I feel like, probably the most requested character for this game, for me at least, from what I've been seeing on Twitter, is absolutely Samira. This character, if you guys play League of Legends already, you know was insanely popular on her release, but even more so now that there's a fighting game out and there's a character that she's definitely a character that could just fit in a fighting game. So if you don't know anything about fighting games or anything about Samira, let me talk to you about her kit. So how she works is she can basically stack up what they call a style meter. Think of like a Marvel vs. Capcom Dante in a sense, where whenever she changes the abilities or attacks that she hits in like any situation, she just starts to build this meter, and the more she builds the meter, the more she gets access to movement speed and her ultimate at the end of the style meter combo, which is really cool. And she also has a gun and a sword. Who doesn't want a gun and a sword character in the game?
Yeah, she's definitely the Dante mechanic. She also reminds me a lot of like Hitman from DNF Duel.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, DNF Duels, that should just be banned. We shouldn't even be able to talk about that.
Nah, bro, that game deserved better. That game was sick.
It was fun until you got infinited by like who was a brawler? So brawler was throwing out infinites and breaking my block.
That certainly was a thing that happened. But we don't gotta talk about that. We could talk about how sick characters like Hitman and Swiftmaster.
And it's Mirror. Oh my gosh, wait, Swiftmaster.
I was a Swiftmaster player.
Yeah, you're giving me flashbacks right now. I'm starting to think like, damn, we really talking about Swiftmaster right now? Like, fellas are really winning all this with him. But anyways, so for Samira, I think that they could easily make her a Dante function. If anybody's ever played a Marvel vs. Capcom game, Dante is a character that is, you know, obviously sword and gun character, one of the most popular characters in that game, by the way. And we don't really have a gunslinging archetype in 2X as of yet, and I think Samira fits the mold perfectly. What do you think?
No, I would agree. She's certainly been one of the names that I've seen thrown around the absolute most when it comes to requests for 2xKO as far as DLC characters go. Not to mention, I mean, y'all see the portrait. She kind of, you know, why she looking like the way she looking, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I mean, just between like the gunslinging and twirling the blade around, I just think she'd have like incredibly sick animations. And I don't know if you feel this way as well, but I feel like they've been stepping it up when it comes to like some of these trailers and these cinematics, these animations for these characters. Like,
absolutely,
some of the base roster characters, I say this endearingly, but they're a little basic, right? But I feel like it's kind of like leveling up as these characters are coming out. So
no, it absolutely is. You know, it's crazy. I watched the Teemo trailer and I was like, wow, this Teemo trailer is great, and that was quite a bit ago. And then I saw the Senna trailer. I was like, damn, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
like it's getting better. And I saw the Thresh character, like I saw the Thresh character trailer, and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, yo,
did you
Thresh looks so sick.
Did you see Sajib's videos, by the way, where the Sett trailer came out? He was like, yo, Senna looks like the sickest character in the game. And then the Thresh trailer came out, he was like, never mind, Thresh is the sickest character in the game.
Yeah, I did see that. No, it's actually so funny because he's so true. Like, he's just so real for that. It's so true.
Yeah, no, facts.
But okay, so just to kind of recap, some pros of her being in the game would be we would have a gunslinger archetype or like a Dante function in the game, and she would be obviously an easy fit for anybody who likes fighting game characters that have a mix of like range, but also some stylish aspect to their gameplay, whether it's stylish combos or flashy mix-ups and stuff like that. She definitely could have fit the mold and definitely has a place in 2XKO, hopefully soon.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Honestly, Samira was a character that I had on my extended list of personal characters I'd love to see, so I'm definitely down for it. Yeah. All right, so I guess it's my turn now. So the next character that I would like for us to talk about is this bad boy right here. We got the Ruined King Viego. Now, I am not nearly as well versed, and by nearly I mean at all, compared to K7 when it comes to League of Legends. So we're just gonna keep it a little simple. I'm gonna just go ahead and read through the bio, but you actually play Viego in League a little bit, right? So you actually could speak a little bit more about what this character does and his kit and how it can translate to a fighting game. But once ruler of a lost kingdom, Viego perished over 1,000 years ago when his attempt to bring his wife back from the dead triggered the magical catastrophe known as the Ruination. Transformed into a powerful, unliving specter tortured by an obsessive longing for a centuries dead queen, Viego now stands as the Ruined King, controlling the deadly heroines as he scours Runeterra for anything that might one day restore her and destroying all in his path as the black mist pours endlessly from his cruel, broken heart. I didn't realize they was yearning like that in League of Legends.
Yeah, my boy's a yearner. My boy is a yearner.
Yeah, but
he's a yearner for sure.
First things first. Okay, so again, some of my reasonings or appeals with these characters start at a very surface level. I just think his design visually is incredibly sick. Like his base design is just raw as hell, and then some of his skins are also really, really dope. But also, y'all know me and your boy got an affinity for sword characters, and he's got one of the coolest looking swords I've ever seen.
It's like a double handle sword. Like, just look at the way he's holding it. Like,
yeah, bro, he's kind of raw.
Nah, he's actually so raw. But I can talk to you a little bit about his kit and like how he actually functions.
Yeah, because you mentioned that he can do like a move steal kind of thing, which I didn't realize he had that, and that sounds kind of sick. And I'd love to hear more about that, because I feel like move steal characters are a bit underexplored or like underrated. Like because Android 21, for example, in Dragon Ball FighterZ, I thought that character was incredibly fun, super sick. Those of you who've been following me since back then, I played a lot of Android 21, and the move steal stuff was really, really cool. So how does that work in his kit?
Yeah, okay. So the way his quote unquote move stealing works is he quite literally just like takes control over the dead character in this game. So how it works is if he has anything to do with any takedowns in League of Legends, of course, then he will be able to possess their body or possess their soul or whatever and just take over them completely and be able to
kind of like Baby in Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
When the characters die, like he takes over the assist. Okay.
Yes, quite literally that. So like it can function somewhat similar to where like if you get a KO on one of the characters, you can steal their assist. So maybe you could have like you could choose what assist you want to do. I'm not really sure how you would do that or how they would go about it, but it's something that he could do. He could just quite literally take their assist, or he could just turn into them and use their moves, or he could turn into them for like a specific amount of time. But we don't want this character to just be about like, of course, possessing characters and playing other characters, because like what you could just pick random select just if you want to just fucking like not play your character. We got to make him cool in some way somehow. But he also has neat mechanics where he has a mist that he can throw if you go to the Harrowed Path, that right there. It'll be the third ability, Harrowed Path. Yeah, there, that one right there. So he can like throw a mist down, and he can turn like invisible, and it makes him faster and increases his attack speed. So I feel like this would be a bit of like how they could utilize a League of Legends pull into this game, where he could like maybe throw think of something like maybe Teemo's grass, where you could throw a grass down or something like that. He's invisible in this. He's faster, and he can mix you right. So something like that. But that is really like the one thing I think that makes this character unique. But kind of pretty much all he does in League is like sneak around, go get a kill, take control of the character, and try to just like possess someone and take their kit. It just makes him a lot stronger. But yeah, that's just pretty much how the character functions. He doesn't do really too much more than that, besides swing his huge sword around, which is also still pretty cool.
I would say, I mean, that's also just pretty sick. You give me a character that swings around a sword, I'm probably going to think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
It also seems like he has like it seems like he has some sort of like movement techniques as well, where he has like this charge dash that you can do, as well as like a teleport. So I could also see it being a thing where like he plays maybe more of like from a mid range because of like the size of his sword and everything like that, and then also maybe like how I don't want to say like a puppet character, but how he takes over like your opponent's character or assist or whatever. So he might hang back a little bit more, but at any given moment he can use one of these moves to get in and get up close as well. So
absolutely,
I can definitely say that could translate.
I don't mean to make him sound like that he doesn't have anything, because he does have other stuff. You see that like after he throws his little ghost blast at them or whatever, what that does is it stuns them and it applies a mark. And what the mark does, it just makes the next attack that he does, or the next auto attack that he does, hit twice. So he could have some sort of function where he like applies marks and it can make some of his attacks, more plus, or gives him access to new combo routes.
Yeah, no, for sure. I could definitely see that, like increased damage or hit stun, or like,
we've absolutely had stuff like this in fighting games before. A character that comes to mind actually while we're talking about this is Noob from MK1 specifically.
Right.
But he had like a ghost blast kind of, and if he hit you with the ghost blast on hit or on block, it would just attach to you, and he would be able to pop it at any given moment. And if you were not blocking, he would just pop you up in the air. He can get a combo, or he could just pop it and make himself plus. So just cool stuff like that is definitely really neat that he could actually do if they wanted to go that route with this character, which I think would be an interesting and unique design to where you could like apply marks, do block strings, pop, call assists, tag, like, there's routes you can go with this. Plus, mixed in with some invisibility and some possession could make this character a true pain to deal with in a fighting game for sure.
He sounds like he'd be incredibly sick. I told you guys at the top of the video that I could not have thought of anyone better for this video. You see how, like I said, the placements in his fighting game resume speak for himself. But y'all see my boy, he the knower when it comes to this league stuff. So yeah, I'm really glad to have you here. But Viego seems really cool. I guess we can go ahead and move on to the next character that you have on your list.
Move on to the next character.
That I know who's one of your absolute favorites. Go ahead, tell me about Aatrox.
Aatrox is one of my favorite characters in League of Legends by far. And it has everything to do with just how cool and menacing he looks. Like, he looks like such a force. Like, this guy's in your way. This guy's on the screen. How do we deal with him? He's actually just he's such a beast. Look at that splash art.
Look at that splash art. His skins are also like incredible too. Like
incredible skins. They really shout out to Riot and like whoever does the splash arts, because they really bring
come on, this is ridiculous.
There is a gold version of that skin that you just need to. It's the next one. Oh my gosh, bro!
Yeah,
come on.
I get it.
I would let you scroll through every single one of these skins if you wanted to, bro. Usually just so raw.
Oh, this whole set is gas.
Yeah, they do like team skins and stuff like that. They put my boy in a suit.
I was gonna say they got my boy suit and tied up. I see it. I understand. Visually, he's raw. So
absolute visually raw for sure. His lore, he has some cool lore. We're not gonna talk too much about the lore, but how the character functions actually, like on a base level, is he's pretty much like a bruiser. Or the game would classify him as like a drain tank. And how he works is when you do damage, you heal. Like, so his idea is like, you want to fight and you want to stay in the fight. So if you're losing the fight, the way you live is to keep fighting, right? Like, he's really just all about staying in there, staying aggressive, and really just trying to still keep himself alive while fighting. So the bread and butter of his kit would be his first ability, absolutely his Q. And the way this works is that he has three instances of this first ability, and they just hit and they do damage. But if you take a look a little bit closer, you see the little sweet spots that they have, like the little glowing red and yellow marks towards the end and on the last one, and it's in the middle. The way it works is basically if you are able to line up these sweet spot hits, you'll do more damage to your opponent and you'll briefly knock them up. Which is really good for Aatrox because more damage means more health back. But obviously in a fighting game, it would translate a little bit differently because it's always a touchy thing in fighting games to make a character do damage and heal themselves at the same time. That's always a risky thing to do. Because imagine this, like I hit you with a 50% combo. Because 2x, of course, you're going to hit for 50. I hit you for 50, but also healed 20% of my life. Like, that's like a 70% life swing. You can't really do stuff like that in a fighting game and make it balanced. So
we've seen characters throughout fighting games that definitely use health as a resource, or they incorporate that. Like, I think Berserker in DN of Duels like that. June in Tekken, like, loses
absolutely.
and recovers health as well. So, like, it definitely can be done. Even like, I think Carmine, right, in Under Night. So, it definitely is a slippery slope, but like when you can do it,
can be done.
Yeah, it can be done, and those characters are usually pretty sick.
Yeah, so they only, like the 2X team would only really have one quote unquote issue to tackle with the character, and it would be how they handle his health back or his healing mechanic. But an easy thing they could do is the sweet spot thing, right? Because like I told you, he does more damage when he gets the hit.
Right.
So. But this is something that's not new, right? Like if you think about Darius already in 2XKO, he has a mechanic where if he hits the outer edge of his axe swing, it'll apply bleed the same way it does in League of Legends. So it's like, this is not a thing that they haven't done before. They can make a character have sweet spot attacks, right?
Yeah,
but he gets more interesting than this. He does get more interesting.
Another route that they could go with it. I don't know how this would appeal to someone like yourself. You let me know how you feel about this, because I know this is your boy. Like, this is probably like your number one most wanted character, right? But what if they also did something where it's like a timing thing? So it's like, oh, it's a just frame. If you hit like, you know, the if you do the combos like with each special, like on this just frame, you recover this amount of health or something.
Yeah, or even if they made it to where you only recovered gray health and not actual health, right? Like, because gray health is a thing in the game.
Makes sense.
And I think it would feed into his character identity as well, right? Like, usually the only way that you can recover gray health in 2x KO is if you tag the character out. But what if I didn't have to tag out? What if I could just fight and just recover my gray health, right? Like,
I ain't gonna lie, you make this character sound sick as hell.
Bro, I'm just saying, he's raw, bro. He's actually so raw. And go to his second ability, because he has, like, they actually can pull from all of his abilities. So his second ability is Infernal Chains, and he basically applies chains to a character that is hit by this. And after a brief duration, it's like a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds or whatever, they'll be pulled back to the center of wherever you hit them. Which is honestly, like, you don't need a brain to think, like, how could we make this work? Right. You could put chains on somebody. Like, let's say we're in a corner, I'm hitting you with a block string. I put the chains on you, and I make the chains pull you out the corner. I hit you cross up, or, you know, like,
just grimy.
just grimy, nasty mix up stuff. And he has his third ability, which would be just a dash, right? It's just a standard dash. It's supposed to be used in conjunction with his Q ability, so you can, like, space it properly to hit the outer edges of it. But in a fighting game, you're not going to have that issue. You're just going to have a dash button. So this is not really needed.
Right.
And last but not least, we have to talk about his ultimates. This is where I feel like the character could get
World Ender.
It's called the World Ender. He is quite literally the World Ender. That's his objective. He just wants to kill everything. Like, he just wants everything to go.
But straight demon time.
Yeah, the way his ult works is basically an install, and he just unleashes his demonic form, they call it, and he just gets increased damage, increased healing, and movement speed. So now he's flying. You see his wings are out, and he's flying and stuff, right? They could give him like an air dash when he pops his install or pops ult or whatever. Like, he could have an air dash. He could have 8-way movement.
I was about to say, so what if he's actually like a pretty slow character when he's in base form, and then he has like a level 3 that has this cool ass fucking transformation sequence, does his ultimate, and then after you've used the level 3, he gets this install, and now he's transformed, and his movement is like, okay, now he's doing all this damage and all this crazy shit, and he can fucking fly.
And he can fly. Yes, absolutely.
That would be sick as hell.
I'm telling you, he is the sickest character that they could add to the game, and it's not close.
Like, I see why you feel that way. I definitely see why you feel that way.
It's so cool because there's so many avenues, so many routes they can take with him that just make him so much cooler to me. Like, you have the chain mix-ups that we talked about. We have the spacing. Like, he could be like a slow spacing character, right? Like, trying to hit his sweet spot normals or sweet spot attacks, mixing with like some grimy chain stuff, right? And maybe a grab because he's gonna be a little bit slower, so he wants to be able to grab you, put chains on you or something.
Right.
And then if I'm fighting properly, or if I get a good enough situation and I'm able to pop my ult or pop my install, I'll then be able to fly and really, really put the pressure on you. So now I'm fast. I have long normals. I'm doing a lot of damage, maybe healing some gray health. I don't want him to be anything broken, because obviously these are a lot. This is a lot to put on one character. But
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like character power in 2xK is pretty high anyway. Every one of these characters is chock full of bullshit. So
I agree. Let me heal. Let me fly. Let me 8-way mix your shit. Like, just let me go crazy. And this is just everything that this character can do. And I would be super excited to see if they could put this character in the game and do him justice. One last thing I'll say about the character before we move on to the next one is that this character actually got reworked to be like this. So there's actually another iteration of Aatrox that was before this one, and he's a different character too. So they could pull from both variations. They could pull from the current Aatrox and past Aatrox. They could add their own 2x KO spin on it, and however they want to do it. But this character is definitely sick, and I would love to see him in the game. Please, Riot, please.
Yeah, after everything I just learned, and that's another thing as well, is that without having investment in League of Legends, in certain characters, it's like hard. Like, certain ones are like pretty obvious or straightforward. It's like, okay, I can see how it could work as a fighting game. And the other ones, it's like, I don't really think about it that in depth, because I don't have like the crossover knowledge. But then hearing you explain, I'm like, yo, this character sounds like they'd be fucking elite.
Yo, yes. Yeah. This is actually elite hoops if they put this in the game for real. Like, he's actually so cool.
All right, well, I guess we can go ahead and get to the next character on my list, and that would be the Monkey King himself, Wukong. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you know all about Wukong. Well, actually, maybe some of y'all don't, because some of y'all don't even read or watch the original Dragon Ball. So y'all don't even know that about Journey to the West and Wukong. I assume most of you do, but like you know what they say about assuming. I be making assumptions, and people be like, "Who's Wukong?" But
right.
Yeah, man. Basically, Goku was based off Wukong. Short and sweet and simple. If you didn't know that. And so much like Goku, he's got like a power pole-esque weapon. I love staff characters. I feel like staves are not something that we see enough, like in gaming and in fighting games in particular. And so him having his staff, I think, would just make him be a really fun, super cool character. On top of the fact that his design is also pretty sick. And also, just like Goku, he's got the Nimbus. So I don't know. His abilities look really cool to me. His animations look really cool to me. And I think seeing a character like this in the game, and we also don't have that many like non-human characters, I guess. And that's something that I've seen people talk about when it comes to this roster, is that like there's just, I don't want to say they're saying there's too many humans, but like they want some of the non-human characters added, and I think Wukong would be a great one to pick from for that.
I think Wukong, it would be a great addition as well. I think he'd be a really cool one because he does have something that I think is pretty interesting, which is his his clone. Like obviously he's fighting with his staff, like it's a standard weapon to use, but we don't have like too many weapon characters in 2X. Well, I guess we do have quite a couple, but I think a staff would be an interesting weapon to be able to put into the game.
Yeah, it's different from having a sword.
Yeah, different from having a sword or like a shield like Braum, or an axe like Darius, or like
Braum
allow his
shield.
fighting.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Braum shield. I'm sorry. but his second ability is called Warrior Trickster. If you want to click over to that one. And that one, he turns invisible and he leaves behind a clone. And the interesting thing about the clone is that it will repeat the abilities that you do. Not your E, but it will repeat your ultimate ability, and it'll repeat your crushing blow, which is like a staff swing. So I mean, I feel like that's easily applicable to any fighting game. If you want to just put another version of yourself on the screen and make yourself do something while, you know,
it kind of reminds me of
together.
Is it Seox? Yeah, I never used it myself. I didn't play Gramps for very long, but I think Seox has like an install super where he gets like I don't know if you want to call it an after image or a clone or what, but it's like
but it does follow him.
Yeah,
yes, it absolutely does that. That's a great callback, because I didn't even think about Seox, but yeah, that's absolutely something that could be in this game, where he has like a Seox function or something like that while he's smacking you with his clone. But besides that, I feel like they have complete creative liberty to like take this character wherever they wanted to if they did Wukong, because obviously he's got the Nimbus cloud, and then his ultimate is nothing crazy. Like he just spins and he knocks enemies up in like an area. But
that's part of what I think would just make him so cool. I'm just thinking of like all these like whirling and twirling animations with him and the staff and just spinning it around.
Yeah, just spinning, going crazy.
I just know those animations would be sick. Plus, anytime you have a character that's spinning around in a fighting game, they're usually pretty good. Like I'm getting Gotenks flashbacks.
Gotenks vibes.
Anytime you have a Beyblade kind of character, they're usually really good and really annoying.
Yeah, no, actually, and also like not for nothing, I feel like the clone mechanic would be pretty cool. Like there's two of you,
for sure,
and you could like pretty much figure out how to make that happen. Like it could be you, a clone, and an assist on the screen. I can't tell you how that can obviously be strong, right? So I feel like this character is a character they could just have fun with and do whatever they wanted, and just like kind of reimagine the character in the 2X KO style. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be super dope. You want to go ahead and move on to your next character?
Absolutely. Next, we're talking about my boy Mordekaiser. Now, Mordekaiser's an interesting one because I feel like he actually would bring something new to 2X that it doesn't have already, which would be a character that actually interacts with the tag mechanic of the game, or the 2v2 aspect of the game. So for those of you who don't know, which you should be knowing if you're watching this video, 2XKO is a 2v2 tag game, and typically you're always fighting your character plus point character plus assist, or 2v2 kind of aspect or something along those lines. But the way Mordekaiser functions is that he actually does not really want to fight two people at all, which I think would be an interesting like adverse concept to add to 2XKO, right? Like if you're typically playing a tag game, and you're adding a character that wants to do the opposite, it's kind of weird, kind of funny, but it would work. So Mordekaiser, he's pretty simple on a base kit, right? He just like swinging his axe, trying to slam his axe down, smack you around, and just big body character wants to sprint at you in a big suit of armor filled with like a souls or something. I'm not really sure about his lore, but he looks cool as fuck. But how he actually functions is that once he's like hitting you or attacking you enough, he'll be able to like just get stronger and start doing like AoE damage. But to speak more specifically on what I think would be really cool in his kit would be specifically his ultimate. If you want to scroll over to Realm of Death, yes. since Mordekaiser only wants to fight one person and not the both of you, he can quite literally send you to hell. Like he just puts you in this realm of death. And it's
literally sending niggas to the Shadow Realm.
Actually sending you to the Shadow Realm. The way it could work is he could just obviously ult or like do some sort of he would have to spend meter on this or otherwise it would be probably broken. But send you to the Shadow Realm and just make it a 1v1. So no assist.
Oh,
no 2v2 mechanic. Okay. Just hands.
Don't laugh. All right. Never mind. You can laugh. It's gonna be all right. The only MOBA I have ever played is the Dragon Ball MOBA that recently came out, Genshin Squadron.
God bless.
So, it could be worse. I could have said Pokemon Unite's the only one I ever played. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right.
But not like in Dragon Ball, Perfect Cell has something like this where he makes the Cell arena, like the Cell Games arena, and he traps you in there with himself. So it's like a 1v1, so that your teammates can't intervene. So it's similar to this. Now I think about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. And that I mean, when you think about it, it's just something that like, of course, the Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron. What the
Genshin Squadron.
Yeah, whatever the game is called.
You just call it Squadron.
Yeah, clearly, there's other MOBAs that have had that idea as well, right? Like, let's put you in a cage, let's 1v1, let's duke it out. Typically, it's a team game, but what if I just wanted to box you, right? And 2xKO is pretty much the same thing. Like, it's two characters on the screen. I don't want to deal with your assist. I don't want to deal with push block. I don't want to deal with burst. I don't want to deal with anything. So I'm going to put you in this 1v1 hell, and you're going to box me.
I'm trying to think. Is there a single character in 2xKO that has a super that costs 2 bars?
No, not at the moment.
I think that's something that they could play around with, right? And this could be the type of thing where, like, I don't know if you want this to be a level 3 thing, but it also feels too strong to be level 1. But this could be like you spend 2 bars and it's like for I don't know how long, 5 to 7 seconds. It's like you and your opponent are both locked out of your assist, and he just has to deal with you 1v1. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
but to make it stronger, because I can't just make it a 1v1, right? Because what if your character, it was a bad matchup, or what if your character can outplay mine, or whatever it is. In this Death Realm scenario, he has to steal something from you. So the way I think it should work is Mordekaiser could steal some health from you. He could steal it, and then if he doesn't do damage, you'll get it back, right? Because at the end of the duration, let's say you play perfect defense, you shouldn't be just punished because you got ulted or level 2'd. But he could also steal some meter from you, and then it could just, there's other ways it could function to where it could give him the upper hand in this 1v1 arena because you're not spending 2 bars for nothing, right? So we got to make this a bit better somehow. But I do think not being able to interact with mechanics is always a strong thing, especially if you're on offense at first. And like, let's say I do a combo and I get a knockdown, and I'm like, okay, you have to hold this mix up and you can't do anything about it. It's like, that could be kind of, frustrating.
You could do something where like you're just passively, so like while they're in that realm, they are losing health, but it's all gray life. I think that could be something. So like, even if you don't like say get the hit, because like, let's say you're up against Akali and it's like, okay, Akali can't call her assist, but her movement and everything is so
she's
good.
Double jumping around me.
Yeah, she's double jumping. She avoids the whole time. So like, she still took damage, but it's all gray life. So like, if she tags out or has fury, she can recover all that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's a great shout. That's actually a great idea. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Because even in this death realm as Mordekaiser in League of Legends itself, like he'll steal your stats, and some characters could quite literally just run away from him. He doesn't catch him. It's like, okay, I popped my ult and I did absolutely nothing, but at least you'll have something to show for it if you pop your ult, because like you obviously spent a resource or spent meter, right? So I think that'd be cool.
That makes sense.
We can move on to our next character.
Yeah, and for me, the next character is Evelynn. Now, here's the thing about Evelynn is that she's not typically the type of character you would probably expect me to want in a fighting game, because I don't know if her archetype necessarily is and this is where you can help me out, right? I don't know how knowledgeable you are about Evelynn specifically, but she's one of those characters that when I think about translating her into a fighting game, I can only see it like one way. And so basically she's a mage, and it seems like she'd mostly want to be a bit of a zoner because she's throwing out magical blasts and things, but she's also got like this whiplash thing and like this I forget what's her lasher in these strikes. So she's not like, I usually tend to play characters who want to be up close and personal, and she'd be more mid to long range. But yeah,
that might be how she appears. Actually, you would think that, but honestly, the way the character plays, she's an assassin. Like by all means, she's an assassin in League of Legends.
See, and this is why I'm glad I have you. I mean, I saw that she's considered an assassin, so she's not like a marksman. Like, and then again, even Sett, and that's the thing as well, is that like, and this is why I'm not a game designer, right? But like Senna is a marksman character, but even still, she's a character that's not just Caitlyn or Jinx where she wants to be full screen, just putting shit on the screen. Like she can get in, and then she has her install, she transforms and turns into Exert Soul. But
which is really cool, by the way. Like they did a great job of that, because Senna in League of Legends, she does not want to be close at all. She wants as far away as possible. So the fact that they made her a bit of both is really cool.
Yeah, so what initially drew me to Evelynn is that I just think her design is sick as hell. She just looks raw as fuck. Like, I ain't gonna lie. And then her skins is like, I ain't gonna lie. Man.
Yeah, sure. She look raw, bro. She look cool. Sure, bro.
She got some gas here. So, but even like her moveset, like with this hate spike and just, you know, I when I just think about like, again, how these animations would look in a fighting game, I just think they'd be really cool. This whiplash
she'd be really cool.
I really like.
Absolutely. So how she does work is she's more of like an assassin, like I said, which she can kind of be like magey a little bit, but not really. What she wants to do is she wants to like basically just sneak around the whole game. If you just look at her passive, which is called Demon Shade, whenever she's out of combat, she's quite literally just permanently invisible. So you cannot see her. You can't see her until you're in range of her, or if you have like some specific item that you have to buy in the game to be able to have vision on her.
Right.
So she's basically just walking around permanently invisible until she sees someone that she can kill. And what she does is she like charms them, which would be the allure ability, the second one. Yeah, she'll put this charm above you, and that's how you know she's around, because you won't see her until she puts it, and you're like, okay, Evelynn's near, I'm about to die, somebody help me. And if no one comes to your rescue, then you absolutely can just die to this character in one shot. But how I could see anything like this being implemented into a fighting game is they have to do away with the permanent invis. You just can't do that.
For sure. Like, for sure.
Yeah. But what they could do instead is just have her play more so on like her charm or her curse mark, as they call it in this game, and just have her more of like dash around you. Trying to she could have invisibility, but it can't just be as easily accessed. But dash around, invisible mix, right? Like I don't have to tell you how like she can be like an air dasher, be invisible, and just be mixing you up, right? Sure. Like any character, they could add that to the game easily.
And I love any characters that have like, you know, extra movement options outside of what the base mechanics of the game offer. I'm also thinking about this allure attack. What if, right, this was something that when you land this, it like reduces the character's like meter build that got hit by it or something like that.
I could definitely see that.
I think that's something they could do with that.
Yeah, they could do a bunch of cool stuff with her. I think the way even her ult works is they probably would make it work a little bit differently, but it's kind of like I do my last ditch effort to do as much damage as I can before I teleport away and try to, you know, get away from my target. They could always just make that a level 3, but they could also just make it like a move. What if they wanted to just reimagine like, you know, her ultimate just being like a regular move to try to play keep away whenever her mix up didn't work. So she does this move to just kind of get out, right? Like, right. To keep herself safe. That's just common things or something that popped up in my mind that they could potentially go for.
Got you. All right. Would you like to go ahead and introduce your next character?
Yes, absolutely. The next character we want to talk about is Sett the Boss. Yeah, look at him.
He looked like a boss. I know this one is another like very highly requested character from a lot of people. I think Sajam, actually, this is like his number one like most wanted character.
This is a great number one most wanted character to have, because this is actually a very, very cool character for many different reasons, to be honest. And I think this is something that, if they do properly, could easily be one of my favorite characters into XKO. So Sett, the way he works, I guess the way his story is that he's basically just like what do they call it? I guess like a fight club boss, and basically he just owns a fight club, and people fight in his fight club, and then if he sees somebody winning a little too much, he's like, "Hey, bro, we got a box now." So pretty much all he does is fight. And as you can see, he just throwing his punches. And that's quite literally pretty much how his abilities work. He just wants to punch you and punch you harder. But the interesting part of his mechanic is his haymaker. So if you want to scroll over to the haymaker ability there. So whenever he's taking damage from enemies, he's storing what they call in League of Legends grit. And once he fully stores it up, it doesn't have to be fully, but he could like partially store it and spend it however loosely he wants to. He can spend it at 25%, 50, 75, full grit, whatever.
So is grit like is that him specific, or is that a general league thing?
It's him specific.
Okay, so he could have his own like meter that he's like micromanaging that's building that up.
Absolutely, a grit meter. And this is probably something that could stack up on block, or if you get hit as Sett. But you don't really want to make something specifically for being on defense, because the way I just don't want to have to build a meter by like holding a mix up or blocking too much. Right. But how it works is, not in this game. If I block too much, you're probably gonna die. But how it could work for Sett is that, like, whenever he's stacking up this grit meter, or sorry, I didn't even finish explaining the ability. I'm moving a little too fast. But whenever he stacks up this grit, he can cast the ability to charge this huge punch and just throw it back at you. So it's like, do a bunch of damage to me. Let's see if you could take it back kind of ability, right? And you see that like in the ability, he just fucking nukes this guy. Like, but the more damage you take, the more damage that it does. And that is something that could be interesting in a fighting game because I don't think we've actually seen it. I've never seen a character that's like the more damage they take, they'll like store up this meter and just dish out a bunch of damage. At least off the top of my head that I could think about. But
see, I feel like that's something that has to exist, but I off the top I can't think of one either. But like I feel like that gotta exist though, or something similar to it.
It makes it. You would think, right? Like you would think this exists, and I just like the version of this that I could think of is maybe like a Street Fighter 4 where that focus attack where you could charge a focus attack and take a hit and then hit back, but it doesn't really. That's not really the same thing. That's just an armored attack. This, by all means, could be an armored attack.
If you guys out there in the comments can think of a character that has a mechanic similar to this, where the more damage they take, the harder they start hitting, you let me know. Because that feels like a no-brainer. Like I don't know. I feel like I should have one, but I don't have a reference for this one.
Yeah, me either. But I do think that it could be an armored attack, like a typical fighting game thing. And then like if he absorbs a hit, then it just does extra damage. It doesn't have to be a meter or anything, but it could just work like that. And this ability is called Face Breaker. So how it works is he pulls enemies on like opposite sides of him. And if he manages to pull two characters, then he will stun them. If he only pulls one, then he'll just pull them closer to him. But if he pulls two, he'll like smash them together and stun them and does damage. But I think the way this could work in 2XKO, there's obviously two characters in the game. And there are situations where two characters are on the screen at the same time, sometimes even in a sandwich situation. So if Sett could have a move where like you get put in a sandwich situation, if you manage to get this move off, you could pull both characters together and get like a crazy big stun and start like a happy birthday combo or something.
Saying, right? What if this was like a parry or a counter almost or something like that, where like if you time it properly as you're getting sandwiched, you actually like stun both characters and then get a happy birthday. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, actually, I think that would be really cool. Or like, even if both characters are on the screen and they're in front of you, if Sett has a move where like, if I grab you while two characters are on the screen, he will do this. Like, it could be a conditional thing. It doesn't have to be like position, because like you're not always going to be put in a sandwich, but there's going to be a lot of times where two characters are on the screen at once. So definitely can make something of this. I don't think I have the creative juices flowing. It's just, I'm not a game dev, so I couldn't tell you how they could do it.
I can see it being a thing where like if you use this move and it's like, where it's just you and the one opponent, right? Like it just brings them closer to you, which like that could be beneficial in and of itself, right? Especially if you're fighting a character who's trying to play keep away with, like again, like an Akali or something like that. But if you do catch them in the assist, it like yoinks them like down to the ground or clash them into each other, like brings them forward to you, and then just like, or they're just caught like hit stun for a moment, you know what I mean? And then
exactly. I could definitely see that. I feel like that's a cool way they could definitely implement this, because it's definitely a really cool ability too, especially in League of Legends. Nothing like when this character got added, no other character had anything similar to this. He's actually one of the only characters that function this way. But the way it works is like he doesn't have to pull two characters. He can pull like a character and a minion. So it doesn't have to be two, as long as he pulls something that is hittable from both sides. So think of it like this. In 2X, if Teemo puts a mushroom down, if I grab Teemo and a mushroom, then I could slam them together.
Oh, that'd be like, so good, especially in a game like this with like Teemo or like Jinx with the traps or Caitlyn or whatever. It's like if I pull you and the projectile you threw, man, that'd be sick.
Yes, like don't set anything up. I don't want anything on the screen. We're using Face Breaker. We're cracking your face open with this mushroom or whatever, right? Like it just, even if like time winders on, it could be anything. I just think stuff like this is such a cool way, or a cool new addition to add to a game like that, right?
Nah, for sure. That'd definitely be sick.
Yeah, and last but not least, we got his ultimate. His ultimate actually is pretty cool. It's quite literally just a big ass body slam. Like it's just a big ass body slam. But it works really cool in League, because like the bigger the character is that you grab, or like the more health they have, it increases the damage of the body slam.
Oh, you can translate that pretty easily, because characters do have variable health in 2XKO. So
yeah, absolutely. But it's just like it's an easy way to transfer it. But like my thing is, it's just cool in League, because like the tank is in front of you. You're like, okay, I'm gonna grab this big ass tank and slam dunk it on your team and kill everybody with the Face Breaker and with the haymaker.
Yeah, come here, Darius. Come here, Alawi. I got something for y'all.
Yeah, no, actually, like I dare you to fight a big body character or play a big body character while I'm playing.
You know
Sett.
what? Go, come here, Brom. You and that shield. Get over here.
Yeah, come
I got
here.
something for you guys. Oh, you want to deflect things? I got something for you. Deflect this.
Or
grab
hold a
me.
shield. Yeah, we're throwing haymakers. Bro, this character would be so sick in League. He's actually just so cool. And then again, he's one of those characters that can have creative liberty with.
It's also just aura farming. Like, look.
For real, bro. Like, why are you sitting down like that? You see the guy under his feet? I don't know if you peep the guy. He's standing, like he's stepping on his face, like in the picture.
I did not even peep. Yo,
girl, shorty by his side, stepping on some dude's face,
you know what I'm saying?
And look to his right. He got his hitter to his right. You didn't even see him in the cut. You didn't even see him
with the bands on the table. Them gold coins getting stacked up over there.
Them doubloons. You see it.
You know, his skins are also sick. This Spirit Blossom joint, bro. Every Spirit Blossom skin I've seen is just so ridiculous. This shit is so fire.
Yes, bro. They do such a good job with all the skins, man. Like, I'm just always impressed with them.
You know, he seems sick. All right, moving on to my next character, we have Irelia, the Blade Dancer. And this is a character that initially I was drawn in just by her visual design. And then I found out that she's essentially like using ancient dances and like all these like floating blades. And I'm like, this just sounds like just like my kind of thing. She's also a fighter / assassin kind of character. But like, I imagine like Swiftmaster style movement from DNF Duel, but also with like all these like floating blades like whirling and twirling around and just this character seems like she'd be so sick. I can see this being one of, if not my favorite character in the game if she got added. I mean, just look the way she's moving with the blades behind her back, boy. She's sick.
Yes, bro, she's so cool. And her abilities actually fit her playstyle a lot, or fit her like aesthetic, and she's really sick in League of Legends. So the way she works is like she needs a target to dash to, and she's like swinging, like just quite literally teleporting around, dashing to these targets to hopefully build her passive, which is called Ionian Fervor. That first thing. So like the more the more abilities that she hits, she'll like stack this passive, and when it's fully stacked, she just gets extra attack speed and does a bit more damage. And then, which is good. Like you want to try to dash to try to like stack your passive, and basically you just do more damage and start fighting. But she also has some cool other stuff, which is her Defiant Dance. If you want to go to her second ability, the way this works is she'll like sit there, and it's like a charge ability. So you'll sit there and hold it, and she'll charge a strike that does extra damage the longer she holds it.
Yeah.
But she also takes reduced damage while she's charging. So like if you're expecting a big attack to come, or like anything that's gonna happen, you'll just like kind of protect yourself with the blades and then dish the damage back. Think of like, you know, like Sett's Haymaker that we spoke about.
Yeah.
Think about that, but like on like a smaller scale. She's not like doing extra damage based on damage you do to her. She's just like deflecting some of the damage and then still dishing some damage back. And her third ability, which is the flawless duet. This one is a really cool one too, because she sets up two blades, which you set one at a starting point and then you pick an end point. And after you pick the 2 points, they come together, and it deals damage and stuns anyone that's caught between it. And I don't have to tell you how to set up like
I was about to say, I'm already thinking, man.
You're already thinking like you set the blades up in between somebody, and then they detonate, and you can go for a mix up. Like maybe she can like set one blade down jump.
Like I'm already envisioning you could use this on Oki, you could use this in neutral, you could use this in combos. You know what I'm saying? You set it up like mid bro. It would be so fire.
Absolutely. Like in my head, what just popped up is like, what if she could set a blade down, and then she could jump in the air and then keep her forward jump momentum, and then set another blade down and then make the blades connect, but then like she's still moving forward, so you get hit like cross up or something, right? Like it's just cool stuff you could do, right? Like I think shit like that is sick. And like you said, you could use it in neutral. You could use it to defend yourself. Like you put a blade down, so like, and you're running away. So if they cross this point, you'll activate the blade, right? Like,
right.
It's cool. Just cool ways to implement the character. And then her last ability would be her ult. But ultimate abilities don't always have to be something. They could just like function as how the character functions. And then the ult in 2X is always going to be like a level 3 cinematic, or it doesn't always have to be that, but it could be. But how it works is she just summons a bunch of blades, and she puts you in like a blade cage. And in this blade cage, it doesn't do any damage or anything, but the initial hit does damage. And if you try to walk out of the blade cage, you'll take damage and you'll be slowed. So like she's trying to stop you from running away from her, while she's also dashing towards you, trying to catch you and mix you up, or kill you in League of Legends case, right?
Right.
So that's a pretty standard ability, but it doesn't have to be something. But it could, you know, maybe they could use the the way the blade cage would work is like maybe you could spend a bar and like you can't go past this point. Like you just create a corner now. Like I literally just made a corner and you can't go any further than this.
Like,
and if you do go further than this,
I don't know why I keep bringing up DNF Duel, but similar.
You love that game. That's your favorite game. It got to be.
Nah, it's really not. Well, I mean, I did like the game a lot. I would never call it anywhere near my favorite, but it's just a lot of the things when I think about how these things translate, I think of stuff in DNF Duel. I only even played that game for like a month or two because, well, unfortunately, it just didn't have the longevity for me to play it any longer than that. But there was a character. Wow, man, what was his name? He was like a big priest clad in like, or was he a priest? The white robes and stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Goichi played him for a short while, but he could create a wall that basically made it so that he had like a wall anywhere on screen. And so I kind of think of something like that, where it's like I can create a corner situation even if we're in the middle of the screen, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. What was that character's name? Crusader. That's what it was.
Crusader. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Goichi played.
I thought he was pretty cool.
Well, after he dropped Swordmaster.
The Crusader was just summoning walls whenever he wanted, but Irelia could do it with like blades or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But this wouldn't like hard stop you. It would just it could hard stop you if that's the route they wanted to take. But I think it'd be much more interesting if I could interact with it in a a cool way.
That'd be sick.
But yeah,
that'd be sick.
That's Irelia, and they can go crazy with her for sure.
Yeah, and also she's got some really fire skins. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. This is part of what sells me on some of these characters. When I scroll down and I see some of these extra skins they got, I'm like, yeah, I would love to see that in the game. That looks really cool. Like, come on, this one is gorgeous.
Yes, bro. Come on, bro. A lot of it is gorgeous, and that's why I think they have such a big.
This is so raw.
They have such a big opportunity with this. It's like if they really hit home with these character designs, and I think they are. I think Thresh and Senna look amazing, dude. Like if they could really just hit home on these character designs the way that they're already doing it, I just don't see a world where we don't get a year where we see Irelia or we see Aatrox or we see whoever, right? I think they definitely have a lane for this, and I'm very excited.
I need this so bad, but we can go ahead and move on to, I believe, your final character that we have.
Yeah, this would be my final character, and the final character that I have would be Kayn, the Shadow Reaper. And Kayn is very, very cool. I just I love the way the character looks aesthetically, and he has this like duality about him that's like a part of his lore. And he also has a scythe. Like, come on, bro.
We do not have enough scythe characters in fighting games.
We don't. Oh my gosh, we don't. We don't have enough.
You have like Gordo and Under Night, who's really cool, and I did play a little bit when I tried out that game. That's cool and all. I mean, I guess he's a charge character though. But how would we? Why are we gonna like ruin my scythe gameplay experience with charge? And then I guess Goku Black kind of has a scythe in his level 3, but that shit really don't count. It'd be so much cooler if he actually used the scythe in some specials or something. But
I agree.
Go ahead.
I think scythe characters are just the
coolest. Tell me about Kayn.
So Kayn is an interesting character because I have to speak about kind of 3 versions of Kayn. So the way he works is that just in his base kit, he just has like typical abilities. Like he has like a dash and a spin where he swings the scythe around. If you go to Reaping Slash, that'd be his first ability.
Right.
So a dash and he just spins the scythe around, just does some damage, right? It's nothing crazy. It's pretty standard. Then if you go to his second ability, yeah, it looks pretty cool. Second ability, he just swings the scythe and just does a bunch of damage in a line. Again, still pretty standard. Not really anything to write home about. And go to his third ability, his Shadow Step. He can phase through walls or phase through terrain. Like that's quite literally what it is. And he heals when he goes through the terrain. I don't really know if we could add that in a fighting game. That could probably just like take a back step. Because there's no real terrain to go through, but maybe he could phase through. Maybe he could just like dodge collision on assists or like dodge collision.
Like you can make it so that he goes through assists or goes through projectiles or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And then his last ability would be his ultimate ability, where he would just hide. Like if he does damage to you, he must do damage first. He'll hide inside your body, and then after a few seconds, or if you end it early, he'll do a bunch of damage and teleport out of your body and just like hit you with the scythe. Like it's just a big burst of damage on the last end of it. And this is base kit Kayn. That's just how the character functions and that's how he works. But now what we have to talk about, which is what makes this character interesting, is his passive. If you go to the very, very, very first ability, this is what makes this character interesting. So his weapon actually is it's like a being. It's living. It's called Rost. And so
it's sentient.
Yes. And the duality of Kayn is that like he still is like obviously still Kayn. Like he's a person, he's a human. but this weapon is trying to take control of his body. So as you play through the game of League of Legends, depending on the type of character that you attack or do damage to throughout the game, you will build red orbs or blue orbs. And the blue orbs would contribute to him like winning the battle versus the scythe and like staying human, keeping his humanity and stuff like that. But if you get enough red orbs, you'll be able to sacrifice it and be able to turn into Rost. Like you're not Kayn anymore, you're Rost. And you make this decision in game every game as soon as, like whenever you pick Kayn. So how it works is if he turns into Shadow Assassin, he starts to become like a swift, more nimble assassin-like character where he's like he's a bit faster, does a bit more execute damage if I'm not mistaken, and just more like assassin-like, right? But if you take control, or if you let the scythe take control of him and become Rost, he's more of like a bruiser or a brawler, do more damage. He has like displacement. He has a knock-up, right? He's healing, like he does damage and he heals now for the damage that he does. So there's like two ways to go about it. And you make this decision every time you pick Kayn. So in the way it functions, I'll go a little bit more in depth. If you hit ranged characters, you'll build blue orbs. And if you hit melee characters, you'll build red orbs. So if you're fighting melee characters, typically the game's like, oh, you're fighting brawlers. You probably want to be, a little bit more tanky, a little bit more, healthy. And if you're hitting more ranged characters as a melee, you probably want to kill them a bit faster. So you're turning into the assassin. And I think the way that they could,
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that before in a game.
Yeah, me either. And I love Kayn. I think his design is so sick, and I would love to play him in 2XKO, but I'm not sure how to tackle this one. This is one that I would need the creative juices of a developer to be like, what if we did this?
Yeah, no, I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, how do you translate this? Because I mean, like, you could just be like, oh yeah, if I'm fighting Caitlyn or Jinx, then I get these orbs, and if I'm fighting Kali or something, I get these.
That's hard to manage though, right? Like you can't choose. But in League of Legends, you could be like, hey, like I know this guy top lane is a melee character. Let me go fight him and just try to stack this up, or hey, let me go to bot lane and try to stack these other orbs up. You can make that decision consciously in this game, like, right? But whenever you're into SKO, like I don't get to choose the characters that they play. They only get to pick two, so I only have the option. Like you can't make
you're
it
kind of like locked, like as to what you can do just based off your opponent's character choice, like immediately.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that is fun. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's not nearly
I don't want my character to be dictated by what they play. I want to be able to choose myself. I want so it could be like certain special moves that you do, or like certain. I don't know how to tackle it. Like in my head, the lazy way to tackle it, or the easy way to do it, is like make them two separate characters and just be like, okay, you want to play blue Kayn, you want to play red Kayn. I think that's lazy. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the character.
Right.
I think the more interesting way to go about it, the way I would, is just make it like a install thing where like you do enough damage, or like if you've done enough damage that round, you could pop your install and be able to choose for the remainder of the set or the remainder of the match which version you would like to become. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, actually, I can see that. Like they could very easily just make it like, oh, S1 super is this one, S2 super is that one, or like light plus S1, or
yeah, exactly. Light plus exactly would let you choose like, hey, I'm turning into this because I feel like I need this in the moment, and that would help me out a lot. Like maybe I want to be the assassin if I have like a Braum on my side, and I want to be able to like mix a little bit easier. Or maybe I want to be the brawler because I have like Echo on my team, and I want to be able to lock down or lock somebody down for this Echo mix up, right? Like there's really cool ways that they can go about it and change the character in fun and unique ways, to where you could build teams around this character, and he could just be like a Swiss Army knife as far as like pick this character plus whatever other character you want to play, and you would just be able to like make it work because you choose which form you want, and you'll be able to just like create whatever your team would need.
It's also,
and I think that'd be really
interesting
sick.
And a little bit more advanced, because I guess it also adds the caveat that like, because the type of character that you're using changes based on which mode you go into, you're essentially learning like another character on top, which I know would be daunting for some people, but then other people are like, no, that's really cool, that's really interesting, that makes me want to learn this character because that's just different, what I mean?
Absolutely adds a ton of replayability to the character as well, because like
for sure
now you're learning two characters, but like also like let's say in a game I'm like, hey, I want to turn into the red Kayn. We call him red Kayn or blue Kayn. So let's say I want to turn into the brawler red Kayn, but like there's a Jinx in the game. It's like, okay, I got to learn this matchup because I turned into red Kayn because I wanted to do this mix up, but like now I got to play neutral with it, and I don't really want to do that. Or like vice versa. It could be anything. I think it just creates unique situations that'd be really cool to see handled if added to a fighting game.
No, I think he'd be sick. Kayn was also a character that I had like on my personal extended list as well, somebody that I thought seemed really cool. Yeah, it would certainly take the creativity of them to like figure out how to really implement this and make him as interesting in a fighting game as he is in this. But I think just the super and just being able to choose which one you want to go to would also just be a fine enough way to implement it.
I agree. I think it's easier that way too.
But yeah, and so for the final character, this is probably the character I want the most. I will say before we get to this last and final character, I think this is the one I want the most. It was a toss up between this character and Irelia. But my number one actual requested character was Akali, who's obviously already in the game. So then it was like, okay, who's next on the list? But I know this next one is one that you're also very, very excited about to talk about. Somebody that you also play a lot in League, that you want to see in this game. And it's somebody who's kind of already been teased into XKO. And that character is none other than Cooler Yasuo, aka Yone or Yone.
Cooler Yasuo, I'll never forgive you for saying that. Yasuo's the GOAT.
Yasuo is really cool. I like Yasuo a lot, but I mean, come on, he ain't this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I feel you on that because like, how do you make a sword character cooler? You just give him another sword.
Give him another sword. You feel me? But yeah, so you can see. First of all, I mean, the visual design is sick as hell. Like, it goes without saying, he's one of those aura farming ass characters, just super edgy. But then also you get beautiful things like this, like Spirit Blossom is fire, and Spirit Blossom Yasuo is actually where he has been teased in his little. It's in the intro, right, where you see him, or is it the outro? One of the two.
It's the win screen. So when you win with Spirit Blossom Yasuo, he'll like look into the sword and you'll see Yone.
And then he sees his brother. I also saw they had like this really cool like cinematic that they did for League of Legends where those two are like fighting each other, and then like he dies, and then Yasuo's like in that forest or whatever with that demon.
It was hella sick. Oh my gosh, it was hella sick.
That shit was super fire. Highly recommend checking that out if y'all never seen it. But I mean, yeah, y'all know me, man. Super edgy, dual wielding sword character. I mean, how could I not want something like this?
How could you not? How could you not? Oh my goodness. But here we could talk about how the character actually functions. So he has two different swords. Think of like Geralt from like The Witcher. Like,
you know how he has like one. The Witcher, but
oh snap! Okay, so he also has two swords. One is like a standard sword, and I believe he like just for fighting people because he gets in the fight with people all the time. But and then he has a silver sword, which is specifically for monsters. Because I guess the traditional sword wouldn't work for him. But the way Yone is, he has like a actual physical sword, and he has like a spirit sword. So one is for like fighting people. Yeah, and the red sword would be like his spirit sword, is for like fighting the demons in the demon realm that he goes to. So they kind of like implement that in the game, like as far as his passive goes. So every second attack he does, it'll do like a bit of magic damage. So that's kind of like a small nod to like his lore, right?
Right.
And how he works, he's kind of similar to Yasuo, but he's actually quite different. So his Q ability is Mortal Steel. So like if he'll just do like a small stab forward, and if he does the stab twice, he'll stack up his like wind Mortal Steel stacks to 2. It'll be his wind dash. So on the third time that he casts it, you can see by like, you know, the wind by his like body and stuff, he'll do like a dash. This is just like combo stuff, or it could just be like character like stuff. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. And then his 2 ability would be Spirit Cleave. And that's like he's swinging his spirit sword to like do damage and grant himself a shield. This is Yone's way in League of Legends for like keeping himself alive, but also dealing a bit of damage to enemies around him. But that's like just standard stuff. He's really an auto attack character, so his abilities are not going to be anything to write home about.
Right.
But his third and last ability are like his most interesting, which I'll talk about now. So whenever he goes into his Soul Unbound, he'll leave he goes into spirit form and leaves his body behind. And when he leaves his body behind and he's in spirit form, all the damage that he does to enemies is accumulated, and at the end of the duration of his, you know, spirit form, he'll put his sword back like on some anime style, and then it does damage to everyone that he already has attacked. So you see these marks above their head? That'll just signal that like, hey, you did some damage to this guy. They're gonna take some damage when you put your sword away, and it's pretty cool. A even cooler fact about it, which is like League of Legends specific, is like if he does enough damage to where the game is like, okay, if you press E again, or whenever you leave your body, go back to your body, it'll change the picture of it. Let me see if I can show you an actual League of Legends. This will probably be easier to show rather than just like speak about it, because it's way cooler this way. See, I'll boot up real quick. And he got some sick ass skins. Look at his skins are gas. Stop playing with him. Where's the cowboy skin? I was gonna put the cowboy skin on. See? This is I fuck with Yone heavy, so I gotta talk about this one. Let me get some gold, get some levels in here. Hey. Hello? All right, thanks. All right, let's spawn some guys here. So if the game recognizes, let me know if you can see. You don't have to put this video if you don't want to, but like I just want to show you. So
no, I got it. I'm looking. I see.
Can I see? Okay. Well, whenever you are doing damage to anybody, so I'll do like this. Whenever the game signal whenever the game recognizes that you'll kill one of them, you see how the mark is like not split. But if you do enough damage and the mark splits, that means whenever you go back to your body, you're going to kill them. Like they are going to die whenever you go back. It is just like a cool little addition to like you see the difference in the logos. Like this one's split and this one's not. Yeah, just showing that like, okay, you've done enough damage. If you put your sword back on some cool ass anime shit, you're just gonna kill him. It's just sick as fuck.
Okay, so his ult is his R, right? The Fate Sealed.
Yeah, Fate Sealed.
I feel like, and you let me know how you feel. I feel like his E would be better as like his actual level 3, and like you get an extra special animation with it, like if you kill them with the ult. And then like his R would probably be better as like either S1 super or S2 super or as a special.
I agree. I think his ult, or like the way his E works, his E is actually the bread and butter of his kit. It's why the character is strong. So I think if they showcase that in his gameplay, I think that'd be really cool. Like if you put this mark on them and you do a certain amount of damage and you could just like get like a cool little extra animation, it could just be a nod to his E in League of Legends or his third ability in League of Legends, right? Like there's a cool way they can go about it. But it's nothing crazy. It's just like he just blinks, like he literally blinks in a line and it's so fast, and he'll stop at the last person that he hits. And it kind of looks like Yasuo's hold S1, right? Like if you just look at it, it kind of looks like Yasuo doing his like teleport or his cross up attack, right?
Yeah, it's a quick little dash. But you could also make this look pretty cool in a super, but like this could very easily just be like a regular special move as well.
Yeah, but again, this is also one of those characters they could just have complete creative freedom, because like Yasuo is another one of those characters. Like Yasuo doesn't have like the most insane kit, right? Like in League of Legends, he's pretty mobile.
Shit, couldn't tell based on the way that nigga move in 2x.
Yeah, the way he plays in 2x is actually such a great reimagining of the character. Like they did such a great job.
You know, their ability to like flip and translate these characters into like fighting game characters is so impressive. And I can't stress enough. This is why I'm so grateful and glad to have you here in today's video, because again, with you not only having high level fighting game experience, but also being well versed in League of Legends, like your ability to even translate it, even though you said at times like, oh, I don't know how they would do that, but much more so than I would have been able to do on my own is greatly appreciated. And it's been a blast to talk about and to listen to.
Absolutely. I told you I can talk about this all day. This video could be 4 hours long and I would still be talking. Like, I could talk about this forever.
Oh, but, go ahead, go on.
No, I was gonna say, but that is the last character, and I think that if you just like, we took only 10 characters, and if you just think about the grand scheme of League of Legends, there's like 180 something characters, bro, like almost 200 characters. And we're just sitting here like, what if they could do this, and it's just so cool. But like, imagine the thoughts that I never even had, where like, what if this character was in the game that I didn't even think would be cool, that they could just somehow make cool, right? Oh my gosh, bro, this is
before we get out of here, there's one thing that I do have to show the people if they haven't seen it already when it comes to this character in particular. So if you guys remember, before the release of Akali, there was some fan art going around of a 3D character artist who had created entirely original a model for Akali that looked really good. It was very loyal to her League of Legends design. Everybody loved it. And that person actually ended up getting hired by Riot as a designer for 2XKO and then proceeded to work on the Akali model. There's another artist that showed up that made a character model in 2XKO for guess who? And worth noting, this person has now also been hired on contract by Riot Games to work on 2XKO. So I ain't saying that, but I'm just saying, man. And he looks so unbelievably good, man. Like, Son, hold on, let me get the camera off screen real quick, Phil, because y'all, I just need y'all to see this in its full. Man, come on!
Look at him next to Yasuo too. Like they look.
Every single color, guys. This is incredible work. This is incredible work. If it's anything like the artist who made Akali, he's not going to look exactly like this, because this is pretty one-to-one to how he appears in his like base skin in League of Legends. So there probably would be some tweaks translating him over to the game. But I mean, this is incredible. If it's anything even remotely like this, I mean, I would go crazy for this character, and I know you would as well.
I would tweak if this character ever got announced, bro. Like I would not be the same.
Yeah, no, this is incredible. This is incredible. So yeah, as of right now, he and Irelia are like my two most wanted characters for this game. I do think, as honorable mention, I should also throw out Riven. I don't think we spoke about Riven today, but she's another character that I would like to see. Didn't quite crack.
Yeah, I got a friend that would. I got a friend that would go crazy about Adrian Riven. Would tweak.
Yeah, shout out my dog Adrian Riven, Trunks Bros. You see it. But yeah, man. But I think, I don't know about you, but I greatly enjoyed that conversation. I ain't gonna lie. This was barely a Lotus video featuring K7. This was a K7 video featuring LotusAsakura. Yeah, and I say that cool. with great appreciation, because, like I said, I wouldn't have been able to go as in depth as you did with a lot of this stuff on my own. So
I'm just happy to be here, bro. I'm glad you had me, because even just like having a little bit of your fighting game knowledge to where you can be like, hey, like, no, I remember this character and this, and it's like, wow, like this actually could happen in this game. And there's so many other characters they can do, bro.
For sure.
Again, still, nonetheless, I appreciate you, having me for the video. I had a blast. I had a great time. Enjoyed myself thoroughly talking about League of Legends, and would love to talk more if anybody ever wants to.
No doubt. I greatly appreciate it. I think this is also the first time we've collaborated on any content. Like I've known you for some years now. And we talk sometimes, we've played some games together. But actually, we recorded a 2XKO video, I think, during the original alpha where we played duos, and I got. Oh yeah. I sat real comfy in the backpack.
Bro, that was fun though. It was fun. We had a good time, man. 2XKO duos is really fun.
We might have to do that again soon. And hey, who knows? There might be some collaboration between you and myself. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Ain't that right, okay. Coach?
Coach.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that. I'm just saying. Yo, stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned.
Right. Coach K on the way, man.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you again so much to K7 for joining me on this video. Anything you want to say to the people? Let them know where they can find you, anything like that before we get out of here.
Absolutely. Twitch.tv/K7_showoff and just K7_showoff. Pretty much on all socials. You'll find me on Twitter as well. I don't really do much of anything else.
Down below.
Yeah, ooh, my go. And K7 Space Show Off on YouTube. Hey man, I enjoy fighting games. I know you guys do too. So just come check out the channel. Go check him out. But yeah, man, hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content that I'm bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much off today. Remember, nothing can happen to you swing the bat. Later.